buying a home, it should feel exciting. I mean, let's be honest, it feels more like a roller coaster to a lot of people, right? There's so many pain points. I mean, you start off full of hope, you're browsing listings, you're dreaming of a new kitchen, a amazing garage, a pool, all the things, all the Florida things, yeah. And then reality starts kicking in. I mean, rising prices, interest rates, people moving into the area, bidding wars. Oh my God, the negotiations, how are you going to handle those? And then the inspections. What happens during the inspections? What if there's something wrong with the house? All these things are driving people crazy. And I totally understand. I've been doing this for years. I'm John Butagards at KW Suncoast. Let me help you. Let's walk through and see if we can calm some of your fears. I'll show you a few different things that we do to help you get your home. Okay, so let's talk about affordability reality check. Rising prices and higher interest rates many buyers are shocked. Yeah, they're shocked at how far their money doesn't go right now. And you might be asking yourself, do I stretch my budget or do I wait? What do I do? Well, the truth is finding the right place is a balance between lifestyle and financial comfort. You're not chasing the perfect home. You're looking for the home that's not going to make you house poor. So, a good agent's going to help you model your payments. They're going to help you get your total costs so you can stay confident instead of stressed about the budget. In fact, we're going to get you a mortgage person that's going to go through all of that and see if it really makes sense to buy a home or what home you can buy, right? Maybe it's a townhome, maybe it's a condo, maybe it's a starter home, or maybe, hey, it's time for luxury and we're living on the beach. Yeah, right? Okay. Let's talk about saving for down payment and the closing costs, okay? So even before you start shopping, if you're on a budget, you want to save for a down payment, and closing costs can feel impossible, especially when rent and groceries and lifestyle aren't getting any cheaper. I mean, even if you're very wealthy, money's not a problem. We're always looking at our numbers. We want to make sure that our budget's right and that it fits into our model. So yeah, we're going to look at the numbers and make sure that we have a budget and a goal, and so we can take away some of the anxiety. If things aren't ticking the box and we're not hitting the goal or we're exceeding the goal, we want to readjust. And that's, again, if you're taking out a mortgage, another reason to talk to a lender when you get started. And we're going to make a plan. Let's talk about the inventory. This one's hitting hard for a lot of people. I mean, you finally find the house you love, and then nobody's bidding on it. So you ask your agent, all right, has anybody made an offer? No, nobody's made an offer. Great, you put in your offer, and next thing you know, there's suddenly 3 other buyers. It just happened to me last week. So multiple offers, bidding wars, cash buyers, yeah, they're coming out of the woodwork when you're ready to buy your home. So be prepared for that. It can happen. Don't shy away and don't say, I don't want to get into a bidding war. Just go ahead and make an offer on a property that makes sense, So, you just don't want to give up the important things that are important to you in terms of buying a home. You want to make sure you're buying the home that fits your budget and sits with your goals. It's all about the goals and all about your budget. You don't want to overextend just because you get emotional about a house. Speaking of emotion, all right, so buying a home isn't just a financial decision. It is deeply emotional. I mean, you're making a huge commitment. You're possibly changing neighborhoods. You may be getting a new lifestyle. Maybe you're new to Florida and you're moving down to Sarasota, Florida, and this is a whole new city, state, and your expectations are different. You're thinking, well, can I get everything I liked up there down here? Well, maybe not, because you are moving somewhere different, and that's the point. A different lifestyle, a new start, different things. Yeah, so not a problem. You're going to just remember that you're making a change, and change is good. Don't think change is bad, like some people do. I know a few. So anyhow, all right, the key to structure in all of this, you want to make sure you have clear communication with your realtor. You set expectations, and with your partner. You set realistic expectations for yourself, and you get a professional guide like myself who can filter out the noise so you only focus on what really matters. You need to look at the goals. And if you tell your agent, these are the goals, we need to stick to them, a good agent's going to do that. In fact, whenever I am helping my customers out, I'm always asking them, or at least I let them know, I'm not going to show you one house if it's not in the budget that you set for me. I'll ask you, do you want to go higher? Or do you want to try a different neighborhood? But I never want to ask them or just show them a home. A lot of agents do that. I don't like it. A lot of agents just show them a home thinking, well, they're just going to come up to that price because they need to. We need to just set the expectations and see. So don't ever get mad at me if you're out with me and I don't show you the home that's next door because it's way out of your price point because you told me what price to stay at. So, okay. Let's see what else. Oh, hidden issues. When we do inspections, let's talk about inspections because things come up. You got this home, you found a great home, we've negotiated a great price, we're under contract, and you do the home inspection. And nobody wants a surprise after closing, but older homes around here, they can have electrical, plumbing, roof problems. Even the new ones can have problems. We have a lot of new construction and sometimes there's issues. Yeah. So having a great inspector on your team and having the right contingencies in your contract, that's going to make a huge difference and it'll save you thousands. So remember, the right home always comes along. If we had a home and things didn't turn around, maybe it wasn't the right home, maybe it wasn't meant to be. The right home always comes along, and a good contract and a great negotiator, that'll help you find the right home and get the right home. Okay. Let's see. I've got my notes. I always look at my notes when I'm doing these videos because I'm human, actually. I'm not perfect. So, yeah. All right, let's talk about the loan process. The loan process can feel like a second job. I mean, really, paperwork, credit, waiting for approvals. It's stressful because the process isn't transparent. And I always tell my buyers they need to get pre-approved before we go home shopping. It's like pre-approval first, home shopping second. The reason? We're not going to go looking at homes if you don't know how much you can afford. I've had so many times where buyers just call us up. They're out of town. And they want to go see some houses. It's like, great. Are you pre-approved or do you have a letter that tells me how much you can afford? If you're paying cash, we need to have a proof of funds letter. So a lot of times, no. We want to go shopping. We want to go look at some homes. We were pre-approved. I said, great. So let's go ahead and make sure you're pre-approved with one of our local lenders because some of the big national lenders can't always get the job done. And I want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. And also, more importantly than anything, an hour consultation in my office looking at your wants and needs, not in your wish list, and looking at what's actually on the MLS versus driving around looking at homes that you just aren't a right fit. I'm going to save you hours of time. Nobody wants to sit in the car for hours. Who wants to go on a long trip? I don't. So I love to save my customers time and I love to save them money and I love to negotiate great deals for them. And I can do a lot of that, save them most amount of time and get them the best deal when we start looking at homes right on the multiple listing service in the consultation. And by the way, when we do have a consultation, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about a buyer's brokerage agreement that everyone has to sign and everyone has to have before they go out looking at homes. So it's just those are the rules. So it's going to be great. Going to take care of you there. So don't expect, if you actually do this, expect if you find an agent that just will take you out to see homes without sitting you down for a consultation and asking you to sign a buyer brokerage agreement, they're not a professional. They're not a professional. And you want to make sure that you have someone like that because that means they know their stuff. They're going to deal right. They're going to negotiate on your behalf. They know the right things to do. So make sure you're sitting down for a consultation before you go out the door. Okay. Trade-offs. Sorry about my lecture, but I there's some things that are just important about buying a home and that keep people from having so much stress. Trade-offs versus reality. Almost every buyer wrestles with this. It's like what I want versus what I can afford. And maybe it's the dream location or that extra bedroom that they want, but when you focus on your must-haves and stay flexible on your nice-to-haves, the perfect home will find your lifestyle. It's just your wish list. It usually appears. So, I can say from experience of buying this home now that I'm filming from, I really wanted a pool. I also really wanted a garage. And then I really wanted location. I wanted to be as close as I could to downtown Sarasota. So what we traded off was we gave up the pool home for the home that was just a little bit closer to downtown Sarasota, and it had a big garage. Yeah. So I wish what I had done is gotten the home with the pool that was a little bit further from Sarasota. That would have been great because I miss having a pool, and now I really want one. So trade-offs, wish lists, what your wants versus your needs are. You really got to write these things out. And sometimes after we dial it in, we go see a few homes, then those wish lists and wants change. Yeah. Okay. Closing the home. It really means getting to the closing table. When we get to the end, a lot of things are happening. There's a lot of, we negotiate out a lot of things through the process. We go through the inspection period. We have to negotiate out the inspections, make sure that everything that needs to get fixed can get fixed, or we maybe need to negotiate out a different price with the seller. And sometimes, unfortunately, there's times when we have to walk away. And I don't like that because I really want my people to get their home. But we'll get through that period, and you can expect through the rest of the process, it's going to be quiet for a little bit of time until we get to the closing table. And then just before closing, if you're getting a loan, you're probably going to have a lender, an underwriting company, asking you for your paperwork again. In fact, probably through the process, they're going to ask you again and again and again and again and again for your paperwork. They want to have the same questions answered. Don't be dismayed. Don't be upset by it. Just roll with it. Keep your paperwork handy and be prepared to send them the paperwork. They're going to check your documents and check your loan documents all the way up to closing to make sure you didn't buy that brand new car and screw up your credit, or that big screen TV on credit. Don't buy anything until you get to the closing table, sign the paperwork, closed, get the keys in hand, and are ready to move in. Then you can go out and buy all those expensive things you want to get. But don't do it otherwise. All right? So the closing process, whenever we use a closing here in Florida, we have contracts that are they're pre-written. They're Florida Realtor Association, Florida Bar Association written. They're written together, and they're pre-written contracts. We fill in the forms, and then we submit them to either a title company that handles the paperwork or a real estate attorney that works with the title company. And I definitely prefer having a real estate attorney. I prefer that my buyers, when I'm representing them, that they also are represented by a real estate attorney that handles the closing. So they'll select title, you'll select title, and pay for your owner's title policy. It costs you a little bit of money, but it's some great security. It'll really help you in the end. So that way, if we come up to a hiccup in negotiations, there's something where we absolutely have to cancel the contract, you're going to have legal counsel that's going to be able to help you get out of the contract if necessary, or negotiate something in the contract. We hate just getting out of the contract because people lose the homes that they want over something stupid sometimes, and we don't like that. So I have some great attorneys. I have great inspectors. I have a team of everybody. I've got painters, and I've got all the people, plumbers, electricians. So anytime anybody wants anything, we've got it. So, yeah. So let me tell you, buying a home doesn't have to break your spirit or your budget. It just really is about planning and having a good agent on your side, a good professional with a team with them that can help you from the beginning, the search, the consultation, the buyer brokerage agreement, finding a home, negotiating the contracts, negotiating out repairs, getting you to the closing table, having a great attorney, and all of those things that you're going to need to get a home here in Florida. So if you need a home in Sarasota, call me. I've got a guide I'll link in the description below. It's a free relocation or buyer guide, things you could learn a little bit more about buying a home here in the area. And watch my next video, okay? If you need to call me, my number is 941-960-8844, or you can email me at jbsellshomes@kw.com. It's all in the description below. Okay, have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.